Check, 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 check. Is this thing on? Hello? 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 Hey everyone, we welcome you in. It is the Patrick Netherton Show on 1130 The Tiger. Hey, you got me, Rogers? There we go. There we go. All right, now we made it. Now we got it. All right. As you know, there's always going to be some technical gremlins in the system. That's what always happens. Anytime you get over on location, these kind of things happen. But we're here, we're hanging out. We are at DAX on the Southern Loop, and we are enjoying a lot of NCAA tournament action. There's a lot going on, and obviously we've got all the games happening, Grambling making their way into the big tournament. We'll talk about that, but we have all kinds of great stuff going on right now. In NCAA tournament action, you got Michigan State is blowing out Mississippi State. So that's what we start with. Then you've got Duquesne is up double digits on BYU, the 11 seed over the 6 seed. You've got Akron and Creighton in a 14-3 matchup. That game is tied at 31 with still 5 minutes left to go in the first half. That is a high-scoring affair. And Long Beach and Arizona just tipped off. So we've got all that going on, all that happening. Super excited to have you with us. We are on location, as we mentioned, out at DAX on the Southern Loop. If you have not been, you need to go. It's a fantastic spot. If you haven't been, eating the food is great. Everything from burgers to wings to salads are really good. They're kind of normal sandwiches. They've got turkey and hot ham and cheese. Rogers is a big turkey guy. I like the hot ham and cheese. So basically anything you could possibly want to eat in terms of kind of American food is handled by Dax Wings and Grill. And again, we're out on the Southern Loop. It is wall-to-wall basketball, as you would expect. And not only that, but we also have a happy hour going on all day long. So we're talking $1.50 off all drinks. So if you are someone who likes to get out and enjoy a beverage, watching some basketball, then this is the thing for you. Again, $1.50 off all drinks. And Ryan told me they're doing a special deal today where they are going to have 50 wings for $50. So if you're someone who is a wing aficionado and likes a copious amount of wings, or if you are someone who has a friend and both of you could take down 25 wings, or one of you can take down 40 and one can do 10, whatever the breakdown may be. If Rogers and I showed up for 50 wings for $50, it would be, I'd probably have to eat 35-ish, and Hambone would maybe take down 10 to 15. But, yeah, it's a great deal. I mean, you just can't find dollar wings anywhere anymore. But that's what they've got going on here at Dax Wings and Grill Southern Loop, where we are going to be for the next 2 hours. So feel free to come by and say hello. We would love to hear from you, love to have you. We will be talking a lot, obviously, about the beginning of the tournament, or I should say the beginning of the kind of traditional full tournament after Grambling got the win, and Colorado last night got a win. Now they have moved forward and into the what we would consider the main bracket. So, yeah, we're hanging out at Dax Wings and Grill. The YouTube channel is up and running. So if you are used to watching us on the YouTube channel, that is available. Again, probably a little closer to my face than you would like to be. And my apologies for that. But there you go. So out at Dax Wings and Grill, Southern Loop, come see us here till 3 o'clock. And then we will, we may eat at 3. I don't know. It may be kind of a late lunch. And then remember, no show tomorrow, as we are going to be out at walk-ons tomorrow. So busy couple of days for yours truly. And luckily for Hambone, he doesn't have to leave the studio but once. And I know that makes him a very happy Hambone. He doesn't have to, as we talked about yesterday, Hambone has a kind of out in the public meter, if you will, like a stamina meter. Like when you're playing, Street Fighter, right? And as E Honda hits you with his 1,000-hand slap, your health meter goes down and your stamina meter goes down. That's what Rogers has, except it's just for public appearances. So as if he tried to do back-to-back public appearances, it would probably be a little too much for our boy. So instead, he is going to go. He'll be out there tomorrow with us at walk-ons. Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. And we're going to have a great time today at Dax. Again, $1.50 off of all drinks. And dollar wings if you order 50 of them. So 50 wings for $50. Ordinarily, Rogers, just so you know, 50 wings is $75. So 50 wings for $75 is your norm, and they are giving you 50 wings for $50. So grab a friend, grab a couple of friends, come on out, $1.50 off all your drinks, and 50 wings for $50. I mean, what could be better? Look, I have one friend, and we could take down a 50 wing platter and feel good doing it. Look, $1 a wing in today's economy, that's a hell of a deal. All right. So the particulars for today's show, we will not have any phone line, so no way to call the show, but we will text. So if you are used to texting on the show, we will have that available for you in the same spot. The Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line is 318-657-0HAM. That's 318-657-0426, also known as the text line. So find us there, and we will take your text. We'll also take your comments over on the YouTube channel. That's right. We are up on YouTube. There we go. YouTube.com/@Netherton Show. YouTube.com/@Netherton Show. If you would like to find us, subscribe to the channel. I am sending out all the details for the YouTube channel. So again, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. It's youtube.com/@Netherton Show. If Rogers knew how to work the TVs better, he could actually watch the live stream. And I know there's nothing that Rogers would want to do more than to see me when he doesn't have to. I mean, that's really the best thing that Rogers Hampton could think of doing, would be to see me without actually me being there. It's like, Patrick's out on location at Dax. I don't have to see him today, but you know what? Just for fun, let me tune in to the live stream and go ahead and check him out. There's no part of Rogers Hampton that wants anything to do with that. Let's just be honest. That is not something that Rogers Hampton wants. Yeah, there's a hey boy. I knew we'd get a hey boy in there somewhere. But, man, we're super excited. We appreciate Ryan and the crew at DAX for having us out. This is like the fourth year in a row, I think, that we've been out here. And we always come out on the first day of the tournament. We watch the games out here. We invite everyone to come out and join us. Yeah, big thanks to that to Ryan and his crew for having us out today. You know, I know there's been some locations that have closed down, but the Southern Loop location continues to rock and roll. So happy for those guys that they are continuing to have success over here out on the Southern Loop. All right, again, the YouTube channel is up and running, so if you are used to watching us on YouTube, you can still do that. It is going. And James has already said he's on his way. So our boy James Stanfield, our ESPN producer, is making his way out here to DAX. He's going to come join us and hang out. And I got a feeling, Rogers, if there's anybody that I might be able to take down 50 wings with, James might be the guy, you know. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to it. I tell you right there, boy, it's funny right there, boy. Hey, get her done. God bless our boy Cable Guy. God love him. He's having to break in a new athletic director. By the way, Rogers, did you see the news on the new athletic director at Nebraska? It's the former Tulane athletic director, Troy Dannon. He was just at Tulane 2 years ago, and then left to go to Washington State, and then had to replace a coach, and I think it was Washington State. It might have been Washington. I think it was Washington. Anyway, he was out there and had to kind of deal with it, and next thing you know, here comes Nebraska calling. And he couldn't resist the siren call. So he is now at Nebraska. And I'm guessing is having a good time. So, he's the guy at Nebraska. Very interesting, to say the least. So, yeah, we got that going. And, man, we're just having a good time out here at DAX, enjoying the madness. Michigan State just finishing off Mississippi State. I think I've already gone 0-1 in my bracket. I think I had Mississippi State beating Michigan State in the first round. I didn't have Mississippi State going anywhere, I don't think. But I don't remember. Honestly, I filled out my bracket last night, and I know I picked Mississippi State. I don't think I picked them to move any farther than that. So there we go. Michigan State becomes the first victorious member in the second round, taking down Mississippi State by 18. Not even close. And as the 8-9 game, they, of course, will get the 1-16 winner. Wagner is the 16 that has to take on the 1 seed. In this case, that would be North Carolina. So more than likely, you will see North Carolina taking on Michigan State. Talk about some blue bloods. I mean, as blue bloody as it gets. So kudos to Michigan State becoming the first team to win in the traditional tournament, if you will. So, all right. We got that going. Duquesne up 10 on BYU. All right, I think we're back, Rogers. Just had to reset that connection. All right. So action going on right now in the NCAA tournament. As we mentioned, Michigan State has finished off Mississippi State, as Duquesne is leading BYU by 8. You've got Creighton leading Akron by 5 in a very high-scoring first half. And then you've got Arizona taking down Long Beach State, currently leading by 4 at the under-12 media timeout. And by the way, Rogers, if I drop at any point while I'm working it back, since we're connected to the phone, you can just pull me up on the phone line. We'll do it that way. All right, speaking of Rogers Hampton, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and play his theme music and introduce him. Man. What's up, my dude? Just fighting through the gremlins. I'm over here sweating like Albert Brooks in network news. Or broadcast news, whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot happening, and you're dealing with, hopefully a connection that stays, and then you sometimes have to reset it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's true. And if worse comes to worse, we can always just come back on the phone line and do that way. So, yeah, we've got that available to us. And the good news is, Rogers, I hear myself coming back down the line, so I know when it drops. When I'm talking and don't hear myself echoing, then I know that that's bad. That's bad. We know that's bad. That's absolutely the truth. How are you, my friend? Yes. Yes, brother. Yeah, it's one and done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's why the upsets happen, because the 3 seed sees the impending end of their season, and they're not supposed to lose, and they get tight, and that's why the upsets happen. The 14 seed is just happy to be there. Thank you. I knew that was coming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. Rogers, we've got a first-time texter on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, and it's not a compliment. Are we ready? All right. All right, here we go. 318 text in on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. Remember, that number is 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. 318 says, I've been listening to you now since 1 o'clock, and I'm trying to figure out what your format is. So far, all I've heard about is you taking down 50 wings with somebody and then some really poor interpretation of the cable guy. Looks like we will be switching channels. Exactly. That's basically what, yeah. He basically gave me the perfect description of the show. Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect description of the show, really. Yeah, he said, looks like we'll be switching channels. Well, uh, God bless you. Yeah, go switch some channels. I guess the only thing that could really hurt me, Rogers, is if someone texted in and said, listening to this show is like eating fall off the bone ribs. Like, that would hurt. That would definitely get me. Yes. Well, that would definitely do that, Rogers. Well, 318. I hate that you're not having a good experience. That's what we're talking about around here, Rogers Hampton. That's the ham bone. And by the way, we do a poor Larry the Cable Guy impression, but he's also our buddy, so I'm not worried about it. Get her done, boy. Like, yeah, and that's not even a poor impression. That's actually him. Ah, Rogers. Gotta love a good critical text message to start off the show. But yes, you trying to figure out what my format is exactly this show. This is a sports. Yeah, you gave the actual description of the show right off the top, and I appreciate that. Matter of fact, I might use that text in upcoming promotional materials for the show. Yes, thank you, good listener, for hooking us up and letting us know. All right, we're out at Dax on Southern Loop. Come join us. Come hang out. You can get $1.50 off drinks all day long, happy hour all day long. And you can pick up a 50 wing for $50 deal. So $1 a wing, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. That is beautiful. We are watching the first round of the NCAA tournament. First team is on, and that is Michigan State, who beat Mississippi State by 18. We are following the other games that are happening. It is the best time of the year in sports as far as I'm concerned. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on location, Dax at Southern Loop. Come join us. Come say hi. We'll be here till 3 o'clock, so come out and hang out with us. We would greatly appreciate it. We'll be back. All right, we welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here in 1130 The Tiger and 103.3 FM. And apologies, I just realized I never switched the stream back over to the live view during the last segment. So everyone was watching the break segment. So apologies for everyone that didn't get to hear that last segment on the YouTube channel. Hate that for you. So Duquesne ends up taking down the 6th seed BYU, and Rogers, I think that does kind of ruin my bracket a little bit. I feel like I had BYU to I think I had them maybe in the Sweet 16, something like that. I don't know. But again, my bracket advice to all of you is the same as it always is. Fill out your bracket. Go ahead and do that. Make sure that happens. Fill it out. But then once you fill it out, just let it be, man. Don't worry about it. Unless you're going to be, you're going to be one of these folks that finds a way to, be in the top 5, top 10, whatever, then you can worry about it. But don't worry about it for the first couple of games, man. First couple of, Thursday, Friday, and I'd say maybe even Saturday, Sunday. Don't even worry about it. But we're out on location at Dax on the Southern Loop, hanging out. Folks filtering in. We got Cocky here, who's in full South Carolina regalia, as you would expect. We've got James, our ESPN Plus producer, who is in full ESPN Plus regalia today. It's theater of the mind, so he could literally be, although, of course, he could just walk on here and be on camera if he wanted to. So, but no, James is hanging out, and Cocky's here with us as well. So come out and hang out with us. Dax on the Southern Loop. We'd love to have you with us. Rogers Hampton is back in the studio. You okay, Hambone? You cooling it down back there? Okay. The NCAA Tournament, of course, is what Rogers is speaking of. I'm going to go Harry Potter. Yeah. Now, but it's there's always counter programming. A Super Bowl. There's go watch the stuff on the other channels during the Super Bowl. It is always hilarious. Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed. All right, we are out at the Southern Loop, Dax. Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed that, Rogers. It's true. And again, with the proliferation of apps and everything else, there's plenty of ways that you can listen to so many different things. So if you don't like listening to this show, you can go download an app and listen to another station somewhere else. If you don't want to listen to 1130 The Tiger and listen to our app, which you can download by going to Google Play or your iTunes App Store and searching for 1130 The Tiger. So, yeah, look, I'm not mad at you if this isn't your cup of tea. It's okay, right? You're a sports robot and you just want sports plugged into your brain at all times. Then go find someone that just talks about sports constantly and nothing else. That's fine. I'm not mad at you, but this is not this show. Rogers, are you a tea guy, like beyond the like sweet tea, unsweet tea? Right. You're not out there with like a chai tea. But no, Earl Grey. Or what's up, dude? Yay, sports. Yeah. No, I know you like some sweet tea. No, I know you like some sweet tea. There's no doubt about that. All right. So come hang out with us at the DAX on the Southern Loop. We are here and watching the tournament. We got some North Carolina going on. We've got, let's see what our other scores are here. We're waiting on them to pop the score bracket up. North Carolina up 6 on Wagner. You've got Creighton finishing off Akron, it seems like. They're up 18 with 10 minutes left. Arizona is up 6 on Long Beach State at halftime. And North Carolina, as we mentioned, is up 7 now on Wagner. It already had an upset, 11-6. I don't know if the 8-9 is technically an upset, but Michigan State took down Mississippi State. Yeah. I kind of want to see, let me look up real quick. I feel like Michigan State was probably the favorite today. Let's see, Michigan State, Mississippi State. Mississippi State was a 1.5 dog. So, yeah, so I'm not surprised by that. Rogers, I'm going to need you to stop talking about sports now, please. It's too much. Yes. Creighton has now opened up a 20-point lead on Akron, so it looks like the Jays are going to move on. By the way, Rogers, Creighton is one of the Final Four teams of our boy Timmy B. He has Creighton in the Final Four, so expect them to go out next game.
Just like Oregon.
It would have been pretty funny. There's no doubt about that. Oh, I thought it went way up in the postseason, Rogers. That's what I've heard. Anyway, all right. No, that was Jessica, who's one of the fine servers here at DAX. Her and her little kiddo are hanging out. So I was saying hi to the kiddo. Rogers, I will say this. The kiddo was very entertained by the show. So I don't know what anyone else is doing, but the kiddo at least was having a good time. Yeah. I'm going to see if he'll text into the show at some point. Speaking of, you can reach us on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. That number is 318-6570-HAM, 318-657-0426. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, did you see the AD's comments from Long Beach State about Dan Monson? This is one of the... the Long Beach State AD, Bobby Smitherin, told the AP on Thursday, quote, "My belief and hope is that by doing what I did," parentheses, firing the coach, on Monday, and the timing of it, they would play inspired, and that's what they did. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but it worked. Are you kidding me right now? You are firing a guy. Yeah, they're not giving him his job back after making a run through the tournament and making it into the NCAA tournament. And by the way, so far acquitting themselves well in the first game. They're only down 6 at halftime to Arizona. But come on, man. You fired this guy a week ago Monday, and you're now trying to tell me that you did it in the hopes that the team would respond and be fired up about it and would make a run. Like, that's insane. he said apparently now he's also saying, Rogers, that apparently he didn't actually fire Dan Monson. It is, Smitherman said, quote, "I don't buy into that narrative. I think this is really getting lost on people that we agreed that a change in leadership was necessary. This was something Coach Munson brought to me." Munson has never suggested otherwise. He's handled the whole situation with class. My favorite thing, Rogers, is he got to the initial press conference, and he sat down and he goes, "You know, guys, I don't really have to say anything. I'm not making any money anymore. Like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm not currently employed, so I don't really have to do this. And with that, I'll take some questions." And it was beautiful. It was hilarious. Mark Few of Gonzaga was not nearly as kind and said that the AD should have let the season finish before going ahead and announcing that he would fire the head coach. It's the last quote that he had, "My job is," this is the AD, Smitherman, "my job is to position our coaches and student athletes to be successful. This was maybe an atypical way to do so, but I believed in the roster we had. I believed in our coaching staff and our ability to do something special. Maybe this was the catalyst they needed to be inspired to play for one another." So you basically threatened their loved one with death in sort of in a manner of speaking. It's like, okay, I'll tell you what, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill your family, is basically what he said. Like, oh, well, I figured once I threatened the coach, the team would respond, and they sure did. Kudos to me. But again, he's not offering him his job back. Like, if you legitimately thought that this was a motivational tactic, then you should now turn around and go, okay, as Rogers said, we're going to now give him a contract and a raise, and we're going to bring him right back. But they're not doing that. They just fired the guy. And now they're going to and the other thing is they're going to reap the benefits of this firing, because Dan Monson got them into the NCAA tournament, which was going to result in more publicity and making the job a little bit higher profile. And should he pull the upset over Arizona, that's going to mean a tournament chit, if you will, that will be given to, they'll get a share for several years down the road. It's the same thing we keep telling our friends at McNeese. We keep saying, look, go win a game. Go win a couple of games. You know why? Because that's money that comes back to us. Because the conference gets the money and then divvies it out to the teams based on every NCAA tournament victory that a team has. So that will be that will be a benefit to Northwestern State if McNeese goes and has success in the tournament. So should Dan Monson actually beat Arizona and find a way to maybe win a second game, that's just going to be more money that comes rolling into the university, and it's on the back of the guy that you just fired. What an insane thing to come out and say. Like, if you're the AD, you come out and you say, look, I'm proud of the program. I'm proud of how these guys reacted to it. I know this is a very difficult situation that I put them in by announcing this now, when we did, right before the start of the conference tournament. But I'm proud of how the team responded to it, and I hope they make a good long run in the tournament. Don't say, well, this was my plan all along, was to inspire these guys, and how good am I as an athletic director by going ahead and firing their coach and inspiring them to make a run through the conference tournament. That's complete insanity. Absolutely nuts to be able to say that. Like, just wild. All right, we've got some YouTube comments here. James, who is currently sitting approximately 7 feet to my left, said, I forgot to inform YouTube chat that I have in fact made it, although he said I have in face made it. And then he said, "My hair will make a point. My hair will at some point make an appearance. So be looking out for that YouTube chat to be able to see James's hair." Mr. Jim said, "I look forward to your show every day, but I'm still getting used to the new time slot." Yeah, I understand that, Mr. Jim. And by the way, your chicken is delightful. Over there on Uri Drive, the Mr. Jim's chicken, just a delight. Rogers, there's a guy that's walking out right now, but I don't know how he's doing it because he doesn't appear to have legs. That's right. He's wearing camo. Oh, okay, good. Look, if you wanted to say you're not listening to this show because you don't appreciate my horrific jokes, then I respect that. I will respect you for saying, you know what, I can't handle the camo jokes and randomly dropping lines of music lyrics just to make Rogers die a little bit inside. Like, I will respect you 100% if that's the reason why you don't tune into this show. But don't tune into this show or not tune into this show because of the fact that we do or do not talk about sports constantly, because we will never talk about sports constantly. It's not what we do. All right, we're out at Dax on the Southern Loop. Come out and hang out with us. We got happy hour all day long, $1.50 off of drinks. Every drink you want is $1.50 off. I guess, Rogers, that means my Diet Coke's only like 50 cents, so feeling good about that. Also, they've got a special on wings. Bring a buddy or a couple buddies if you're a lightweight, and or bring no one if you're a heavyweight. Get 50 wings for $50. 50 wings, $50. Look, you can't get a buck a wing anywhere these days, so take advantage of this opportunity. Bring a couple of friends or one friend or no friends if you can eat 50 wings, and enjoy 50 wings from Dax for $50. Come out and see us. Hang out with us. We'd love to have you. It's the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. You can find us on the YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We will be right back. All right, we welcome you back. Welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show, right here on 1130 The Tiger. We're hanging out at Dax Wings and Grill on the Southern Loop. We will be here, at least on the air, for about another 30 minutes. We will be probably hanging around for a little while longer than that. Rogers, I have to rely on the largesse of family and friends because my truck's in the shop, and so we are we have to wait for that to get done. But man, we're out here, and we'd love to have you come and hang out with us. Again, it is happy hour all day long. $1.50 off of all your drinks, and you can get 50 wings for $50. And again, I keep telling you, look, I looked on the menu, and for those that are watching on the YouTube channel, I'll show it to you. The wings, 50 wings, are $75 on the menu. 50 wings right now, $50. Buck a wing. Even I can do that math. Even James Stanfield, with his Natchitoches area education, can figure that out. 50 wings for $50. Even a guy who would be a South Carolina fan could figure that out. That's the absolute truth. Yes, that's for our audience right now. As we got Cocky Cockaboose is hanging out here and enjoying some time with us. We got some golden tea going on. Oh, listen to golden tea. Yeah. I haven't heard. Rogers, you catching the golden tea audio? You hearing that? Oh, well, I guess. All right, so golden tea is that like kind of golf simulator game where it's like an arcade game, and it has a little wheel, and you roll the wheel back to for your backswing, and then you whip the wheel forward to swing. You know what I'm talking about? I know. I'm just saying it's cool. They're actually playing some golden tea behind us. Were you a skee ball guy, Rogers? Yeah. Just roll the ball up there and hope it went in the right hole. Right. Sure. Rogers, I'm going to need you to stop talking about things other than sports now, please. So, no. All sports, Rogers, from now on. Never speaking about anything other than sports the rest of the show. Is skee ball a sport? I mean, right. Yeah, lifetime ban for Ohtani at this point. Hey, if you're going to ban Pete Rose, right? Trey asked if there's still pinball. Is there a pinball machine there? There are actually 2 pinball machines here, Trey, who is a pinball aficionado. They have a Star Wars pinball machine, which weirdly from afar looks like it's Luke Skywalker in front of E.T., but it's actually Darth Vader and the Death Star, I think. Yeah. Rogers, would you say you were a pinball wizard? He sure does play a mean pinball, Rogers. Yes, so there are 2 pinball machines up here. There's a Star Wars pinball machine and a Riverboat pinball machine. So, Trey, if you are looking for a little pinball, come out to Dax on the Southern Loop, brother. They got you handled. Got some golden tea going on back there. And if you are looking at the YouTube channel, you can actually see the game behind me. they have a projector on the wall that is projecting one of the games. I don't know, Rogers. Can my YouTube channel get copyright struck for having like one half of a basketball game on because you can see like some of it over each shoulder? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe might get copyright. James, again, who is sitting. Sports? Okay. James, who is sitting, again, 7 feet to my left, said, as a non-sports guy, skee ball is a sport. I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, it takes some physical ability, which, they keep score, which is also a deal. James also said, put it on ESPN Plus with Patrick Netherton on commentary. Yeah, I'd love nothing more than do a little play-by-play of some skee ball. That'd be amazing. Cocky said Tim Jong-un, or actually he said Tim Jong-il has Oregon in the Final Four. Sacrilege. Yes, that would require, obviously, a loss by the mighty Gamecocks. So, not a happy man. By the way, Oregon, South Carolina gets underway at 3 o'clock. That'll be on TNT in about 30 minutes. And Oregon is a 2.5-point favorite to pull off another 11-6 upset. We've already seen one 11-6 upset. Meanwhile, the games that are on right now, none of them are particularly close. Creighton has a 15-point lead over Akron. That is late in that one. Arizona is now up 21 on the already fired Dan Monson and Long Beach State. And North Carolina has a 14-point lead over 16-seed Wagner. Or, Rogers, I prefer to call them Wagner, like a Ride of the Valkyries. So I'm going to go with Wagner as opposed to Wagner. Nevertheless, it appears their trip to the NCAA tournament will conclude after today's action. So that's what we got going on. So we're keeping up with all of that and the potential for Shohei Ohtani to perhaps be given a lifetime ban. Also, Rogers, Cocky sent a picture of me with me on the inset. So it's like it's my show. He was watching my show on his phone, and then there's a picture. He took a selfie of us, me and him, and he cropped it, and so it's basically Patrick Netherton Inception. It's me with me in the background. And there's someone who would love that, Rogers. Ed October on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, 318-6570-HAM, 318-657-0426. I know some conferences want to expand the number of tournament teams. In my opinion, they should have 72 teams, with the top 8 ranked teams getting a bye to the Sweet 16. The other 64 teams play up to 3 games to get down to 8 teams. It would mean teams in the first round would have to win 3 games. More games, more upsets. I saw someone mention, I think it was Fran Fraschilla, who put out something, it's reasonably similar but without the first round buys. It was, I think, 72 teams, and he broke it down with, number of at-larges, number of, unlike Tom Izzo, he doesn't want to eliminate the lower seeds, the automatic qualifiers, which is still one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my entire life. The idea that we're taking away the little guy. Like Duquesne. For Tom Izzo, Duquesne would not have been in the tournament. It would not have won as an 11 seed. Like, that's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ed October, a.k.a. Ed in San Marcos, go check out Fran Fraschilla and his Fran Fraschilla's tweet about it. He kind of broke it all down, and I didn't mind it. I don't mind extra teams. I don't want this going to 90 or 100. We don't need to be starting to let in at-large teams that are under 500. That we don't need to have that happen. All right, the tournament is pretty good. Like, you can look at the bubble and say, hey, maybe Virginia shouldn't have been in, and maybe Indiana State should have, or maybe Pitt should have. Maybe Pitt should have been in there. Whatever. Like, you can argue a little bit about what's going on, but it's not like there are 5 teams that should have gotten in that didn't get in. And you had bid stealers. You had teams win their conference tournament that were not going to be in the tournament anyway. Oregon was one of them. Oregon was not likely going to be a tournament team unless it made the run through the Pac-12 tournament. And it did. And by the way, one of the most amusing things going on in this tournament is that all teams that are in are earning money, and they are earning money for the teams that are not. They're earning money for teams that are still in the Pac-12, and there's only 2 of those. So literally, you have Oregon State and Washington State that are getting the benefit of Oregon if they win. All of the other Pac-12 teams that are in, they are all Arizona, who is currently handling their business. Like, all of that money's going back to Oregon State and Washington State. Not all of the money. If you win, you get the lion's share of the share of money. But then it ends up, you end up turning and giving some of that money back in. It goes into a pool that goes to the conference and then is distributed back out. So all of the ACC teams that win, all of those shares are put in a pool, given to the conference. The conference gives a little extra to the team that won the share, and then they give a little bit less to everyone else. So all the teams that didn't make the tournament, as we talked about just a second ago, there's a reason why Northwestern State, at least administration-wise, is pulling for McNeese. Because if McNeese goes in and wins a game, and maybe goes in and wins two games, well, then that's more money that gets into the pocket of Northwestern State for nothing that Northwestern State did. Right? That's the fun part of this for NSU. Same thing that happened in 2006. Northwestern State won a game. They beat Iowa on the last second 3 by Jermaine Wallace, and that money ended up trickling back down to the rest of the Southland Conference members, and the shares last for several years. So you make money. If McNeese wins a tournament game today, this evening, then they will send money to the conference basically for the next couple of years, and that will continue. So it ends up being a nice little boon for potentially a team in the conference to go in and make a play. Right now, we've got Morehead State leading Illinois 11-5. That is just a little over 3 minutes into the first half. So Morehead State leading Illinois 11-5. As we mentioned, we already had the first upset of the tournament as Duquesne took down BYU in an 11-6 matchup. So kudos to the Dukes and their retiring head coach, Keith Dambrot. Maybe, Rogers, maybe this is the coaching version of firing your coach before the tournament, right? Like, this is the equivalent. The coach says, hey, I'm retiring. Yeah. If I'm every coach that has an underachieving team that thinks, hey, these guys could if they play well and figure it out, they could win the tournament, they could win, find a way into the NCAAs. Maybe maybe a little fake retirement. Rogers, maybe if I fake retired right now, maybe it would get more folks listening. Oh, okay, okay. As long as the total listenership is deducted by 2 after today's texting. And look, y'all. I love all the listeners. Whether you're hate listening like James does, because for God's sakes, he has to listen to me enough during football broadcasts and basketball broadcasts and softball broadcasts and some occasionally baseball broadcasts when I show up. It for a guy like that to continue to listen to me is amazing. And even if he's doing it because, maybe if it's self-flagellation, then I'm okay with that. So, look, I love you guys or girls that text in and say you don't like the show. And I just wonder, what are you doing with your lives? What is going on in your lives that you would put yourself through something you dislike when you don't have to? Rogers has to produce the show because, he needs the job. But if Rogers didn't have to produce this show and be around me on a regular basis, then he likely would not. Because Rogers doesn't necessarily want to do things that don't bring him joy or that fill him with madness and anger. I get it, though. I understand. My show's not for everyone. Finch said the format of this show is something else. What format? That's what I keep trying to explain. There's no format on this show. When I tell people what this show is, I tell them it is a sports / food / barbecue / lifestyle show. That's what we do. We don't stay in sports. We don't stay in food. We don't stay in barbecue. We don't stay in lifestyles. We don't just make jokes. We do a little bit of everything. All we want to do is entertain the masses. Chuck said on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, they're putting themselves through something they don't want to and then writing to the people they don't want to hear. Yeah, I agree, Chuck. But here's my real question. All right, I got two of our biggest fans here, Cocky and James, sitting right here. Show of hands, how many people believe that a texter telling me to stick to sports is actually going to cause me to stick to sports? Yeah, no hands went up. No hands went up at all, Rogers. And I know your hands in the studio are not up either. It's just not going to happen. I'm too old.
How can I vote?
Running up that hill, Rogers.
You never mentioned my dream.
Yeah. Oh, love it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap this bad boy up. We'll be here for a little while after 3 o'clock, so come hang out with us. We are at the Dax on the Southern Loop. $1.50 off of all drinks all day long for happy hour. 50 wings for $50. Got all that happening for you, man. Come out and hang out with us. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger and 103.3 FM. YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. Let's go. Oh, good call, Rogers. I forgot. Yeah, no show tomorrow. So technically, we are working for the weekend right now. Good work with you, my friend. Rogers always on top of things. You know, Hambone's going to have the stuff on that needs to be on. We're back for the final segment of the Patrick Netherton Show, coming to you from Dax Wings and Grill out on the Southern Loop. Come hang out again. They're all day long, happy hour, $1.50 off of drinks. You can get 50 wings for $50, which is a hell of a deal. Again, if you've got you and your boy or your husband, wife, whatever, y'all can take down 50 wings between you. Come on, because you're not going to find a better deal than 50 wings for $50. Buck a wing, that is as good a deal as you're going to get. Chuck on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line said, I disagree with probably at least half of your sports takes, but it's nice to ride around and grind on the job and listen to you guys because it's like hanging out with you at the same time. Yeah, and see, that's what I want out of this show. I want you to feel like you're sitting in a room with me and Rogers, and the stuff that I'm saying is exactly the same stuff that I would say if you were sitting in a room with me and Rogers. I feel like so many hosts talk at you, not necessarily talk with you. You know, that's to me, I want this to be conversational. I'm gonna drop a joke. I'm gonna, mess, but it's the same stuff I'm doing if Rogers, Hampton, and I are out and we're not on the radio, and he can attest to that. Like I'm the same person on the radio that I am off the radio. It is 100% the same guy. All right, since James is trying to get in on the YouTube stream, I can't show you yourself, James, because my YouTube is frozen. But yeah, James is over here showing off the hair. So if you haven't seen his hair, it is a beautiful bushel of joy and loveliness. Not quite Rogers with his fantastic silver locks that he keeps under his hat all the time. So, yeah. But Rogers, I think you would agree, right, that my show is basically like just hanging out with me, except I probably talk more sports here than I do in my regular daily life. That's right. Only Rogers would get joy out of making people angry. Oh, you got a little Hampton in you. You don't want none of that, boy. You gonna get. You gonna get. All right, Creighton takes down Akron 77-60. Games that are ongoing right now. Arizona has a 24-point lead over Long Beach State under 6 minutes. It's a 24-point lead for Arizona. North Carolina's got a 12-point lead over Wagner at halftime. And Morehead State is still leading Illinois, but Illinois has made a little bit of a run. And Morehead State now leads 19-18 with about halfway through the first half of that one. Got some really good games on tap. Again, come on out to Dax Wings and Grill on the Southern Loop. They have a bevy of televisions available. As we mentioned, you've got a happy hour all day long, $1.50 drinks, $1.50 off drinks, I should say, 50 wings for $50. Like so much stuff going on out here at Dax on the Southern Loop. And make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Patrick Netherton Show so they know that their money is well spent. Oregon, South Carolina coming up at 3. Nevada, Dayton is coming up at 3:30. Then you've got Colorado State and Texas coming up at 5:50. Oakland and Kentucky is at 6:10. McNeese and Gonzaga at 6:25. South Dakota State, Iowa State is at 6:35. St. Peter's and Tennessee is at 8:20. NC State and Texas Tech at 8:40. Samford and Kansas at 8:55. And the last game of the night is Drake and Washington State from Omaha. That will be a 9:05 tip. So enjoy the madness for the rest of the day, everyone, and the rest of the weekend. We will not have a show tomorrow, but if you want to hang out with us, we will be eating lunch over at Walk-Ons on Uri. So come and see us at Walk-Ons on Uri. We'll be hanging out there sometime around the noon hour. So come hang out, have a beer, and enjoy some NCAA tournament. The madness is on. It is away. We are enjoying it. We're loving it. It's the best couple of days in sports. So be sure that you are parked in front of a TV, that you have a beverage with you, have some snacks with you, and enjoy what is the best few days in all of sports. All right, take care of yourself out there, everyone. For Rogers Hampton, I'm Patrick Netherton. Appreciate y'all sticking with us. And, hey, we even love the 2 guys or girls that texted in and said mean things about us. We still love you anyway. That's right. Haters don't. That's true. If you're a big Fletcher fan, that's the time to hang out with him. We'll be at Walk-Ons tomorrow on Uri. All right, for Hambone, I'm Patrick. Y'all be safe and careful out there, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you back here on Monday from 1 to 3.